Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back for a new episode of the CyberVerse podcast. And today we are going to talk again about SASE. We have an amazing guest in our studio, Jaap-Sander De Vries, Benelux Channel Manager of Cloudflare. Welcome in our studio.
Thank you, Martin. It's great to be here and a pleasure to meet you again.
Yeah, a pleasure is all ours. So maybe before we dive into the wonderful world of SASE, can you tell a little bit about yourself?
I'm the channel manager for the Benelux with Cloudflare. I have been in the cybersecurity business for, well, if you look at my gray hairs, for quite a long time. So I've been in this world for a while. Back in the day when we shipped virus definitions to customers, and the highlight of our day was the I love you virus, Melissa, Annie Kournikovas, or back in those days.
The good old days.
The good old days, indeed. And I have joined Cloudflare as last year, 1st of December, with the task to create a healthy and enthusiastic partner ecosystem together with Infinigate. And what triggered me by joining Cloudflare was basically the proposition. I've always been a fan of software as a service, of OpEx constructions and models. And, their proposition of being the world's most connected cloud network spoke to me. And, the solution set is different than, I believe, than other vendors out there. To give you an example, we not only deliver SASE on our cloud backbone, but also our application security and performance solutions and services, our developer services. And we have various customers, small, large, running on that platform. Their domains are on there. Just to give you an example, Eurovision Song Festival, all the counting was done on the platform.
I think Cloudflare is a well-known brand and name. I think a lot of people actually know it or recognize the brand. Also, it's a cybersecurity titan. Also, so it's a huge company. It's really born in the cloud, and I fully get it because it's. I think it's a modern company. It's a modern platform, and that's really unique. But maybe before we go further, where does Cloudflare come from? What does it do also? Because it's a big platform, of course.
Well, the mission of Cloudflare is to help create a better internet. And I think the 20% plus of the internet transgresses through our cloud connectivity network. We have points of presence across the globe, 340 plus, and each of these points of presence have the complete security stack from Cloudflare. So no matter where I am and no matter what use case I have, whether it's securing hybrid work or allowing developers to develop applications on our backbone, that is all possible. We protect networks with our DDoS, with our WAN, with our WAF firewalls. All those solutions are available anywhere. So if I'm here at your office, I connect to our Brussels POP or our Ghent POP. In Amsterdam, if I'm in the Netherlands, it will be Amsterdam. So I think those elements and the fact that that we deliver an OpEx-friendly SaaS model. That spoke to me very much. And as you know from my background, I've always been a fan of SaaS. Back in the day when we promoted email security, moved it from an on-prem solution into the cloud. So that's always been there with me. And and I think in today's topic, delivering SaaS as a cloud-based model, most definitely interesting.
Absolutely. I have a background also on cloud, on Azure. So I've been in that world for almost 7 years. So it's a good world to be in, I think. A lot of things are moving, and you really see that's the future, of course. But before we lose our track here of the topic of the episode, SASE. We're going to talk about SASE today. What is SASE for you?
Well, I think it's a good question, but let me rephrase it differently. What I've noticed is that when a lot of people talk about SASE, and we'll get into the acronym itself and the definition. But what is happening in the market today is, in terms of SASE, Zero Trust Network Access, they get mixed together, right? And honestly, they are connected in a layered way. But what I'd like to stress at this moment is we need to, in my opinion, really look at the various definitions to understand finally what SASE is and what that potentially means for an organization. And we tend to throw in the acronyms like ZT, Zero Trust, and it is the philosophy. It's the basis of what we're discussing today. It's the philosophy of never trust, always verify. Which basically means that no device, user, or application is trusted automatically, right? It's always verified on the context, where you are, who has access. So it's basically your doorman at a club, right? He checks, Martin, do you have a pass to come in? And you want to go outside and pee again, and then you go back in. It's being verified. Now, the next level is the technology layer in our discussion, right? It's ZTNA, Zero Trust Network Access. That is the technology that enforces the ZT for accessing the applications and services. So instead of giving someone access to the whole network via VPN, ZTNA only lets you get access to specific applications for which you're authorized. After verifying, is it Martin? What is he doing there? So the verification of the identity and the context. That is that ZTNA component. Yeah. Now, some people ask me, okay, well, what do you mean by that? Well, it's instead of giving you the key to my house, I'm giving you a digital pass, and you can only enter the bathroom. It's maybe sounds like a very silly analogy, but it's very specific. You're assigned to a certain room. Now, if you look at SASE, or as you know, the Secure Access Service Edge, of which access is the
we are really good at acronyms.
We're very good at unbelievable. And that's why I think it's good to understand that SASE is the architecture that uses ZTNA, and within ZTNA to deliver network and security. And of course, a lot of my colleagues will talk about, okay, we have it's the combination of network, the SD-WAN component, which is basically the A, and then we have the security technologies within ZTNA. And I think a lot of people need to understand it's also identity access management, it's least privilege access control, it's device security, plus those components that we all know Gartner coined in that phrase in, 2019, I think it was. And we talk about, okay, it's our secure web gateway, it's our DLP, it's our CASB, it's our firewall as a service. And yes, those are the definitions. But Martin, what I've seen is that, we kind of muddle them up a little bit. And that's what I'm concerned of. And hopefully we can set that straight today.
Yeah, and often that's a lot of building blocks, a lot of different building blocks.
Most certainly.
And I also, during this podcast, I had a lot of discussions about the discussion about the best of breed and the platform discussion. So,
or as my previous company said, platformization.
Or the platform fabric, is king, or whatever. I think it's really a valid discussion. Also, it's really a valid discussions. But how do you think that our company is handling that? Is there?
Well, what I'm seeing is that a lot of companies feel that they've adopted SASE and that they think they've modernized because they've procured a security web gateway from a renowned vendor. They've procured CASB from another vendor and ZTNA from a third. And although, as you mentioned, the best of breed, which they probably are, because the company has done the due diligence, they've done the RFP, or they've done the checks and balances, and it's matched the success criteria of that POC they did. It is very much fragmented. And I think that's where the whole story of the consolidation and moving from a heterogeneous environment to a homogeneous environment comes into play.
Yeah, I always also say that fragmentation leads also to more complexity, and complexity is, of course, not always the best match with security. How would you say that Cloudflare is handling the SASE differently in that way?
Well, I think it's silly to think that you move to all your sys controls that fall under the ZTNA umbrella, and that you move them in one go to a single vendor. I don't believe it's realistic to think that. I think talking to every CISO in the market today, whether it's in the Netherlands, Belgium, or Luxembourg, the realization that SASE is a journey. It's not a one-time project. And to answer your question, at Cloudflare, what I see is that we simplify that journey by broadening the ZTNA model to include security and performance services. Now, in my personal opinion, I think it's a logical evolution as it enhances both that security component as well as the user experience. So if you look at Cloudflare at the moment, and you look at our ZT portfolio, as we call it, or services, it already includes additional layers like remote browser isolation. We've already had that in there for quite a while. Same goes for email security. So in essence, we were already extending that definition. And so my theory is if we broaden ZTNA to include application security and performance services, I think organizations can create a more robust and user-friendly architecture that aligns with whatever digital transformation or modernization they've got going on.
Do you have some examples, perhaps to more clarify it also?
Yeah, of course. Let me see where I'm going to start. Let's add, for example, web application firewalls, API gateways, and bot management tools into the mix, into the ZTNA framework. Now, these would protect your applications as against threats like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and API abuse, for example. Now, what does this mean for a customer? Actually, this layered approach and this layered way of thinking, and that's why I want to broaden your mind when it comes to ZTNA, is that it reduces your attack surface, it provides end-to-end security, and if I, on top of that, add performance surfaces like content delivery networks, our CDN, for example, smart routing, load balancing, I am actually optimizing application delivery. And users use applications, right? So the application delivery gets optimized. I'm reducing latency. On our backbone, there's milliseconds of latency. I'm ensuring that the user experience from a security perspective increases, that I'm more manageable from that perspective. So it's very important in the light of what everyone's talking about. We're going to use SASE for our remote users, our branch offices. It's important for remote and distributed workforces when accessing those applications from various locations, right? And I think what I want to drive, the message I want to drive to our listeners is that, look at the combination that allows organizations to, in essence, manage access, security, and performance from that single platform, simplifying operations, because we're moving to CapEx to OpEx, where we understand that we have resources problems, we have knowledge problems, etc., and we reduce overhead. I think that's what I want to drive. Think broader. That's, I think, key in this market today.
Would you say those are really the advantages of a single platform like Cloudflare?
I think that's the beauty of Cloudflare's platform. I think you don't have to start, not forced to start on the SASE route. You can basically, I've seen customers say, okay, we were starting with bot management, API protection, and they're ticking the boxes of certain sys controls, and then realizing that the Cloudflare platform offers the broader ZTNA story, right? So we spoke about a journey. They can start a journey at various points. And I think that is, in my opinion, a unique proposition from the company Cloudflare.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a nice one. So I think it's a topic where everybody keeps talking about generative AI. AI is everywhere. um, it's changing the game for a lot of companies. I think nobody really has a clear view on how the world is going to look in 10 years. But still, how do you think cloud is playing into these trends and yeah, a lot of changes. So what is your view on that?
I think a lot of cybersecurity vendors are introducing AI, LLM, machine learning into their solutions, right? We promote it, but what I'd like to highlight is a different way of thinking again. We recognize the fast adoption of AI within organizations and by employees within various business functions, whether it's sanctioned and unsanctioned. But I think the key thing is that the SASE platform from Cloudflare needs to be and is uniquely positioned when in helping IT teams govern the usage of AI in a secure and responsible way without inhibiting whatever innovation they're planning to do. Exactly. Yeah. And I think a key differentiator is that I hate to say it, and one of the few, we're one of the few SASE vendors that actually operate not just in the security infrastructure, but also in the AI infrastructure. And what is included is we provide AI infrastructure for developers, so that they can deploy serverless code and AI models. We provide AI gateway for visibility and control. Firewall for AI to protect services powered by LLMs, and mentioning those elements, they're part of a SASE proposition. So I think we're moving to the various elements that a customer is looking at, not just their traditional moat and walls surrounding their company, but also their development within their DevOps space as well.
Yeah, and Cloudflare is also really strong in that DevOps space on the application side. It's really where it's also born, I think, a little bit in that cloud space.
No, true, and I think the uniqueness of the proposition is you can start at the application security and performance components, whether it's looking at Cloudflare for, as mentioned, your DDoS mitigation, your bot management, your load balancing, and then move slowly into your SASE discussion, right? Whether it's the access gateway or it's CASB or whatever you have. But at the same time, we do not forget the fact that there are companies out there that are developing their own applications, that are speeding up their go-to-market strategy through whatever digital transformation they need, right?
Absolutely. So I think we are running to the end of our podcast today, but do you maybe have a last really good quote or takeaway before we end?
Ooh, that's always a good one, Martin. I think the first one I would like to say is, broaden your ZTNA line of thinking. That is one. The other thing I'd like to say is that, security, keep it simple in a certain aspect, but security has to be usable. And the usability hinges on performance, on something that I'm strong a fan of, simplicity and consolidation. And Zero Trust, although is defined as a journey, in essence, it doesn't matter where you start, as long as you move towards that principle.
That's a really nice one, Jaap-Sander, to end with. Thank you very much. Thank you for being a great guest and
pleasure.
Yeah, explaining the world of Cloudflare and SASE in a good way. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, see you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.